Okay, Sergeant, what happened?
A terrible tragedy, Larry. The mother was at home with a 7- and a 4-year-old. Unbeknownst to her, the young Exodus got on that treadmill, somehow worked that cord out of the underneath of the console, got caught on it, strangled. The mom was looking for the daughter and actually sent the 7-year-old to see what the sister was doing. Found her and called mom, and she began CPR, called us. And at this point, after a thorough investigation, it appears that it's nothing except a horrible tragedy.
You ever get one like this?
In 25 years, Larry, I haven't exactly like this, but child safety issues and strangling on cords, whether they're blinds or harnesses, is something that does occur. You know, when you look around, seeing things from the perspective of the child, from the ground up, makes things a lot different in terms of safety.
We have a family statement about the death of young Exodus Tyson. It says, "There are no words to describe the tragic loss of our beloved Exodus. We ask you now to please respect our need at this very difficult time for privacy, to grieve, and try to help each other heal." Amen. That's a very smart idea in this day of tabloidism, to leave this family alone a while. Is the first suspicion when you come to this, Sergeant, that do you look at a possible crime?
Well, you have to, Larry. That's our job, is to make sure we determine the facts. So you take all the things that occur. First off, when officers respond to a child in distress, it's one of the toughest things to do. You don't know whether that child is going to make it or not. You have to deal with the situation. We all have families, and it's unnatural to lose a child when you're a parent. So it's a tough situation to be in. But as investigators, once you come to that scene, you have to begin from the outside in and look at everything to determine what the facts are. In this case, we have consistent statements. We analyze the evidence at the scene. We're able to take a look at things through the child's perspective and to see how this could happen. And the only thing we don't have at this point, which we will, is a medical examiner's report sometime in the near future.
She was put on life support, right, at the hospital?
That's correct. She was pretty much needing life support right from the get-go, from the time we got there, actually from the time Mom found her. So it was a haul where she was pretty much unconscious and on life support the whole time since yesterday.
Would you pretty much guess that she was in no pain?
Well, we don't know. Initially, you know, there's a struggle. The strangulation is a tough thing. I'm sure she was scared and suffering, and these are terrible things for any parent to think about their child going through.
You know where Mike Tyson is?
Well, he's with the family. Mike was out of town yesterday in Las Vegas. He came in right away. Have had nothing but cooperation from the family. It's a terrible thing, and our hearts go out to all of them.
Stay with us, Sergeant. On the phone, Dr. Charles Rosen, clinical professor, spinal surgery at UC Irvine Medical Center. What do you make of this from afar, Dr. Rosen?
Well, from what the sergeant said about this terrible tragedy, it sounds like it's from one of two things. People will, when they're strangled, they will either lose the oxygen supply to their brain by either cutting off the blood circulation or the air directly, or being on a treadmill with her. And if she was running, I'm also suspicious that maybe when she got her head caught in that the weight of her body caused her neck to flex or extend very rapidly, which would have led to a spinal fracture, and that would have occurred instantaneously and severed the spinal cord, resulting in the same thing of her not breathing, basically. So it's hard to know from what I've read which of the two occurred. It's a tragedy either way.
Sergeant, do we know if the child was actually on the treadmill running?
Yeah, Larry, I can help the doctor out with that one. Apparently, the treadmill was not plugged in. It was unplugged at the time, according to statements from the mom and from a forensic interview with the child. So what happened was, we believe the child was on the treadmill, but it was not running at the time. She might have been playing like it was, and at some point got underneath that console, which if you get on your knees underneath the treadmill and look up, you can see what I'm talking about, how that might occur, and easy to reach up and get.